everyone for being here for this wonderful event. And the first order of business is to thank Steinway for hosting us and helping to sponsor this event. And when Steinway opened this beautiful new gallery, and I started with music with Rachel about a year ago, we've been talking about what could we do to get in here and do an event. And so we're so grateful that the opportunity has presented itself in this. And so the first thing I want to do is thank very warmly and introduce Saromi Park of Steinway.
Thank you very much. Hello and welcome to tonight's event. We are happy to be a part of it. I'm so excited to see new faces and some old faces as well. Steinway & Sons, we've been here for about 9 months now, and happy to report that the community has really welcomed us in this wonderful city. I will be around for the rest of the night, so if you do have any questions about the beautiful instruments you see, please feel free to do so. So thank you so much, and have a great night. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
So just a couple of pieces of business before we get started with the formal not formal, the counter-conventional programming that you're used to with Musique. I want to tell you why Musique is so excited to be sponsoring and helping with this event. When Rachel and some folks founded Musique a couple of years ago, I said counter-conventional. I think the idea was to be counter-conventional in every way. And one of those ways was to have a real focus on living composers, artists that are alive and thinking about what's going on in the community right now and doing exciting work. And one of those artists is Peter Nell. And when he came out with a new CD of work, we were just very excited to get involved in celebrating that work. And it's just an honor to be able to help with this. Another thing that happened when Musique was founded is that we started doing all kinds of unconventional or counter-conventional events in different places around the city, whether it was the Rose Palace, Rose Parade Float Warehouse, or Art Center, or Caltech, the kind of working cross-sections of Pasadena to get into to be a real different kind of organization. And the idea was to be able to have real conversations with audiences around work that mattered in an intimate way. And that was, I think, the birth of the Uncorked series, which we do. That series started to get attended by 500-600 people. And so still intimate in its own way. But we saw this as an opportunity to really get a great group of family and friends together and look at a specific piece of work that we celebrate in a really intimate and conversational way. And so I think it's just sort of back to the roots of founding Musique in a way today. So it couldn't be more exciting for us to be involved. So we're just thankful. And I want to say a couple things. First, we have a gift for everybody on your way out. So you don't want to miss getting this. It's both a copy of this great work that you're going to hear, and also it's a little guide on how you're going to be spending your summer, because, or at least 3 days of it. Our summer series at Caltech, the Summer of Sound that we're holding, is going to be a real festival of irreverent fun, and we really would love to have you with us. I'll be here. I can answer any questions about that, about Musique, and would love to talk to you. But in the meantime, you're here to hear some really exciting work. So to help with that, I'd like to introduce Rachel Warby, our artistic director and conductor.
Thanks, Brian. So I noticed the minute that everybody was standing here, and then when Brian said, hello, I'd like to chat, you all did this. And I would love it if you would all please take 10 steps forward, because the idea is, please, see the keyboard, see the screen. There are extra chairs set up. If anybody would like a chair, we can bring more out. Make sure this is about seeing the keyboard and getting closer to the music, not further away. I encourage you, please. Thank you. So, as you know from looking at this screen right is quite an animal. Everybody knows that it's made up of white keys and black keys. But I did a little experiment recently, and I showed this to Marcus Paulick, who's, put your face in the camera, Mark. There's Marcus, who's our pianist this evening, and I thought he was going to have a coronary. I did this. Look at what happens when you don't see any black keys. It's a crisis. So for all pianists, it's just all white keys. So the piano, as well you know, is made up of a series of white keys and black keys. The white keys are the alphabet letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the black keys provide color for those white keys. So if you play all the white keys and only the white keys, it sounds like this. If you play only the black keys, it sounds like this. So a little bit of a black key ditty is the pentatonic scale. You can hear how it sounds so influenced by Chinese music. And there's a child's ditty, which Marcus doesn't know because he's raised in Germany, but those of you raised here with me might recognize this. It's an all-black key. It's an all-black key little piano trick for kids. There's a white key piano trick for kids that goes, I think it starts here. But all white keys. So Peter decided one day that he wanted to pretend that he had never seen a keyboard before. He was asked by the Music Teachers Association of Virginia, I think. Peter Nell. He can't put his face in the camera. He's too far away from it, but there he is. And he said to himself, if I were a Martian and came down here for the first time and I laid eyes on the piano, what would my wondering eyes behold? And his answer to that question was, obviously, there are white keys and there are black keys. And there must be something to all of that. So as a conceit, he set about for himself the challenge of writing some pieces only for black keys, some pieces only for white keys, some pieces when only the left hand plays white keys and the right hand simultaneously plays black keys, some pieces where the left hand plays only black keys and the right hand plays simultaneously only white keys, and sometimes when they cross in the middle and then they take over the opposite end of the responsibility. So as a conceit, I mean, it's kind of a party trick, you think. Well, it's like what are those called? A hat trick at a party. But the fact of the matter is composers are always using conceits and hat tricks. I mean, Bach would say to himself, what's my challenge today? I think I'll write a fugue. And then this is the conceit that he arrives at. So a second voice comes in, imitating the first voice, third voice. Mozart would say to himself, oh, my conceit is I'll write something in sonata form. It will start with one thing, we'll have something in the middle, and then it will return to the end. We're not going to play, but... out an idea, and then he takes off from that idea and creates a piece. These pieces are, some of them 30 seconds, some of them 20 seconds. The longest one, I think, is 64 seconds. And each one of them has another challenge. Before I say anything else, I'm going to ask Marcus to play the first three for you. I encourage you, if you can't see the actual keyboard live, this is an unusual opportunity to see what this conceit looks like on a camera, and if I'm in anybody's way.
I would say that actually this table here has the best views.
Yes,
So
of the keyboard.
Back so someone else can actually come here and see that.
block the screen. All right, good, we're ready. Marcus, the first three little pieces, please. Marcus's, did I put your face in the camera and say, this is Marcus? For those of you who can't see, you have to look in the camera up there. This is Marcus. And Peter Nell, of course, you all know our Peter. So, I wanted to point out something that happens in the first piece, where he keeps playing the same two notes in the right hand that are black keys, like this, and it's this part that Here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
just play the right hand alone. You see they're all on the black keys. And with the left hand, he's doing this. All white keys. And there's this masking, because something you hardly ever see is that Peter asks the pianist to play one hand directly over another. So it looks like that. Quite doable, but quite uncommon. I'm sure you all noticed in the second piece, the forearm. Can't miss the forearm, even without the without the monitor. But the forearm is indicated only white note forearm or only black note forearm. So can you show us a white note forearm? Right, once more. And the black note forearm. It's a totally different experience, and they're all rolled like that. And of course, in the third piece, the left hand is all on the white notes, and it looks like this by itself, just the beginning. And the right hand, all by itself, is all on the black notes. And then they get put together in this wonderful way. So I wanted to show you something that happens in one of the next pieces. I'm going to see if I can get a piece of sheet music in the screen. Okay. Yeah. See the first measure on the G clef. Wait, how do I get that? Oh, look at that. So the first measure has a gigantic natural sign on the top line over, I feel like the weather lady. Here, it's like upside down. It's so counterintuitive. Where am I?
You're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Here,
Yeah.
and the bottom line has one gigantic flat. That is truly counter-conventional. By this, Peter means play all the notes in the right hand on white keys, and all the notes in the left hand on black keys, as if they're flats, not as if they're sharps. You know, you would never see anything like that. Normally at the beginning of a piece you see 2 sharps, 5 sharps, 6 sharps, 2 flats, 1 flat, or you see nothing for the key signature. But in this case, that's the kind of information that Peter gives the pianist. So these are 3 little pieces, which I'd like to show you the first one in very slow motion. Yeah. So you see it climbed up on the black keys and then crept down on the white keys, and then when you put the hands together at that very point, you get this. So these are 3 brief pieces. The first one goes by very quickly, very furiously. Sounds like this. Marcus, if he would, to show you how simply this piece is constructed by playing all the iterations of what comes up in the first two measures, which sounds like this. Comes up in the left hand later. Again in the left hand later. And at the end it floats up in the right hand. But because of all the material that surrounds it, it ends up having this kind of mask, and we don't recognize all of its iterations, which is a really cool way to make a piece. I'm going to move ahead here to a piece that's called monochrome, and it's meant to be very free and very sparse. And Peter tells the pianist that each line should last only 15 seconds. So I want to know who has a watch. Because I already told Marcus I was going to do this. I thought when we rehearsed it together, some of his lines were 9 seconds and some of them were 11 seconds. So I'd like to know what 15 seconds really is. And I don't have a watch or a phone on me because I'm... you have one? Great. So, you ready?
You start when I...
I start when
Okay.
you go?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were going to start
No,
when I
it
go.
takes time to produce
Okay.
this cluster.
Okay, here we go.
It's like in Zen, you have to get the right attitude.
You bum. You're off by 1 nanosecond. 15 seconds. It's perfect. Maybe it's because your battery's low now. Low battery. It's the faulty phone. That was magnificent. But besides, for the time, you can hear how just playing these few notes becomes so ethereal. And especially when we don't have to focus for an extended period of time and can just be told, this is 15 seconds per line. It's 4 lines. Give it your undivided attention, and it becomes this sort of impregnated moment of something that's just so glorious to be able to be in the presence of. Thank you, Marcus. So the next piece is a piece that is called also monochrome, and it's played on all white keys. Am I out of order now?
No.
No. Yeah, this is right, bouncy. Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah. So this piece is called Bouncy, and the second piece is called Jubilant, and they're quite integrated, and they're all about white keys. All about the white notes. with you about the next two pieces. This piece is called Hammered. I want you to take a close look at what Marcus is asked to do physically on the piano, which is to repeat the same note over and over and over again, and look at the technique with which he does it. I'm going to ask you to start it very slowly so that we can see on the monitor or live here how you're doing this. Every other, but up to tempo, it goes like this. A very simple notion in the left hand, which becomes quite masked when the right hand is added. This is the left hand alone. A perfect children's piano piece. Start it again from the beginning. Now the left hand, by itself, does this. Right hand, sorry. My other left hand. And when they're all both put together, we get this. Marking that Peter uses for the next piece, because it's hard to believe that a composer would really do this. Let me see if I can get these words up here. Yeah. Deadpan, mechanical. And you see at the beginning, at the top, staff here, actual key signature, 5 sharps. But at the bottom, the gigantic natural sign, meaning play all white notes. In this piece, the fingers never move. They start out at one place, and because it's very deadpan and very mechanical, they stay in the same position throughout. Just show us the left-hand position first, if you will, Marcus, and the right-hand position. So you see, this is something that Peter Nell likes a lot. One hand over the other, which is counter-conventional. Why do you do that, Peter?
As far as I can reach.
That's as far as But we saw Dixie one piece with great hand crossings. But did you get somebody else, like a mechanical arm, to do that for you? The big hand. Is this why do you have such a love of this?
Well, once you blend it, you get to mix it together as opposed to keeping it separate.
Great. There you go. Deadpan and Mechanical by Marcus Pollock.
Peter Nell.
And Peter Nell. Oh yeah. Him. entitled Funky and also Dreamlike. It's a perfect example of all. No, I mean funky.
Yeah.
Funky,
Yeah.
just funky. And it's in every way a perfect example of, I think, everything, Peter, you intended for this grouping of 24 snapshots. But why don't you say something about funky?
Well, actually, I will say one thing about the one you just heard, which is that while the hands never move, the rhythm in each measure is different. So it's really the challenge for the pianist is to actually count through that, because technically there's really no problem. The fingers aren't going anywhere, but rhythmically it's a real brain twister. This one is similar to the second one you heard, in that it employs the clusters of notes, which is basically a cluster is just a bunch of notes in a row, either white or black. I don't know, Marcus, if you want to show them so they can see that. It's easier to.
So this would be a white note cluster.
Well, they can't see that one because it's off the screen.
Okay, so white note cluster, black note cluster, or like if the
Right, and this one has the small clusters.
Don't try that at home.
It has small clusters. It has the big clusters with the forearms. It also has an indication to play cluster that it's just the lowest possible notes, or does it have highest possible notes too in this one? I forget.
this one not, no.
Okay, just the lowest in this one. And so basically, otherwise, it's just meant to be fun.
And it is. That's about black and white, and there's nothing gray, nothing in between. But there's something about those separations of black and white that turn into unbelievable Kodachrome. The colors are incredible. And Peter, Nell, thank you for your genius and your gifts, and thank you for everything you give to this community as a composer, and of course to musique as a composer and as a board member. And Marcus Pollock, thank you for your commitment to this community of Pasadena, for living here with us and with your family, and for giving your music to us as frequently and as generously as you do. And champagne and some cheese and crackers. And to all of you good, dear friends, see you June 29th on the campus of Caltech. Thank you for coming.
I can see it. Yeah.